Hello everyone. My name is Anela Stone, and I am so excited to finally be officially launching Peaks and Valleys. I've been wanting to do this for some time now, and here we are. Now, for those who don't know what Peaks and Valleys is, it will be a virtual series where I will be listening and speaking to several different types of people, listening to their trials and tribulations and how they conquered them, or tips and tricks on how to handle social life skills, different things like that, and talking to a variety of people. I'm really excited. This will be posted on all of my social medias and it will be put on a website. However, the biggest goal for this platform is to end up building a published book that anyone and everyone can get a hold of so that they can also learn all these different techniques and trials and tribulations. So to start off this series, I have someone here today that I was actually very fortunate to run into. A little side story. I was talking to my mom about how I was looking for someone who worked with kids, who worked within schools that would really be able to talk about mental health because it's a huge thing, especially for right now. And I didn't have anyone. And then I met this wonderful woman right here while I was at work, nonetheless. And so I'm just very glad to have you here. Can you please tell me about yourself? What's your name? What do you do? And yeah.
Well, my name is Kellie Turner. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I work in a Title I school in Brighton, Colorado as a school counselor. I was on my way to work, and like I do twice a week, I stopped in to get Dutch Bros because it's God's gift to
Yes.
people everywhere, coffee and a cold brew with
Yes.
soft top. When I stopped by and they asked, "What are you doing? Why do you come all the time?" And I shared what I do, and here I am. And so I work with kids in an elementary setting, helping them, and then I do private practice at night, helping kids with their problems and helping them get the skills to handle mostly anxiety and depression.
Perfect. Well, that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. So why don't we just dive right in? So I'm going to focus on the topic of children within school. So my first question to you is, as a school counselor, what are some of the most common situations that you see within students?
In school, we see a lot of anxiety, a lot of separation anxiety, especially right now with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anticipating in our school, all kids return back to school tomorrow. So I'm anticipating tomorrow many tears as kids return back to school. We were in person up and through right before Thanksgiving break.
Mm-hmm.
So as kids have been out of school now for 6 weeks, I'm anticipating to have a lot of children missing parents, so a lot of separation anxiety. Prior to that, we had kids in person, so a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears around anxiety around parents and themselves catching COVID-19, pre-COVID-19, as we call it. A lot of anxieties around just other things, test taking, bullying in schools, a lot of anxiety around bad people in the world, a lot of anxieties around school shootings, a lot of anxieties around bad people coming into the schools, a lot of depression, just kind of anxieties around things, what we call adult problems. A lot of kids worrying about adult problems. And being a Title I school, we have over 85% of our kids that receive free and reduced lunches. So a lot of kids worrying about, will there be food for the weekend? Will there be electricity in the home? Stuff like that. So a lot of worrying about that.
Yeah. I know I personally have had my own anxieties for similar topics, but I cannot imagine at such a young age too. And so, I mean, I just want to take a second and say, like, I thank you for your work and working with these kids and helping them get through that, because I know personally in recent times that those are difficult subjects to get through. So continuing on, I actually have some questions that have been submitted by anonymous people that would like to hear an answer to make sure to see if they can get some help. Um,
Okay.
my first one is going to be submitted by a sixth grader. He says, I'm new to middle school and I am really struggling to transition into a new way of school. I'm not used to having to do a lot of these things on my own. I'm missing homework assignments, forgetting about tests, getting so frustrated in class that I don't want to do my work. I feel like I really can't go to anybody because they all just tell me to be more organized. What should I do?
Well, he's one of every sixth grader in that school.
Yes.
Every sixth grader that enters middle school feels the exact same way. So he needs to understand he's not alone.
Okay.
Every middle school that enters into a new school, feels the same way. Because middle school, I call it the beast, is completely a different beast of a school.
Yes.
In elementary school, you're still considered a kid. You're kind of protected. Middle school, we take off those kid shoes and we say, welcome to being more of a bigger kid.
Yes.
And we expect you to do it. Your best bet, get a planner and really try to learn your new skills of really trying to stay organized. And it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for reminders. I tell kids it's okay to ask for Post-it notes. Put Post-it notes. Put them up somewhere where you can see them. If it's a bathroom mirror, put them in a bathroom mirror. If it's somewhere where you can see them. A TV, if you have a TV in your bedroom or a computer nearby, put it so that you can see them. A planner is always easy to see, but if you don't look at a planner every day, put it somewhere where you're going to see it. Ask mom and dad to buy you a dry erase board. Put it on your dry erase board, somewhere where you can see it.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I know I have a planner that I live by. I am very well known for my planner. It is color coded to the max. And I've even gotten my brother into using a planner too. Not quite as color coded and organized, but I think that is amazing advice, especially for a new student. And that's a really easy skill to pick up as well.
Absolutely. And the best thing is always ask for help.
Yes.
Those teachers know you are coming in. They know you don't have the skills. They know you're going to mess up. So it's okay. Just ask them. They are expecting it.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Awesome. Well, I have one more, and this one is also kind of by a newer student to a new environment. This was submitted by a freshman in high school. She said, I've had a really persistent bully ever since middle school. I was hoping to come into high school with a fresh start, but they just keep coming. I want to talk to someone about it and have them help, but I'm worried that if I talk to someone from the school, they won't actually do anything to help and only make it worse. What is your advice?
Well, most of the times bullies grow up. Sometimes, unfortunately, they don't. And again, you do need an adult to help out with this. The best thing I always recommend, obviously, is to go to the counselor and ask for either a peer mediator.
Okay.
Peer mediators are pretty common in high school, and a peer mediator and a counselor will help. Usually the counselor can kind of step back and doesn't usually say much. The peer mediator helps out and says it all. And so it kind of stays just between the high school students.
Okay.
And then that peer mediator can kind of help in a situation to keep it where an adult stays out of it and can become more of an ally and more of a friend.
Okay.
And kind of keep it more on a friendly thing. I always tell people, try to reach out to become more friendly with the bully, kind of figure out what's going on, and try to figure out like a way to get in there to, I don't know, find something that is common ground.
Okay.
Find some way to make a connection, to be a friend. In the long run, you can never be too friendly to anybody, and you can always go to bed at night feeling like you did the right thing.
Exactly. I love it. I know I can actually relate to the specific person. I have also had someone that we've clashed heads for years on end, and I did everything I could to make it stop. But once I did find that adult or that person that could help me, I was able to get through it and fight through it and make sure that both of us come out in a healthy way. But I've actually never heard the term peer mediator. So that is really helpful, and to understand what that is and to know that that is an option for people, especially in high school, because high school is a beast, just like middle school.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to move on to the next subject. And so this one is actually very near and dear to me because it has really happened to me, especially during the pandemic. And I know that many other people have also been going through this and been hit hard. But I'm going to talk about mental health now. My first question, super easy, super simple. What are some common symptoms of depression and or anxiety?
Well, anxiety is a good and a bad thing. And a lot of people don't realize anxiety can be a good thing.
Okay.
Every single person that walks on this earth and breathes oxygen goes through anxiety. Anxiety is that thing that can motivate us to do well. When you think about this weekend was the playoffs. Every single player on there was feeling anxiety. They want to win. Anxiety can fuel us to push us to do better.
Yeah.
So anxiety is something that can encourage us to try harder, to encourage us to just give it that extra 10% that we need to do. Mm-hmm. When anxiety becomes bad is when it makes life a little harder, when it can put barriers in front of us to keep us from being happy. So when anxiety becomes a problem is when it makes us not want to fulfill our dreams, when we don't want to go to school, when we don't want to go out no more. Mm-hmm. And so common things might be is that what I see in school is kids don't want to come to school. Mm-hmm. Kids will have anxiety attacks, so kids can't breathe, kids start hyperventilating, kids will get really sweaty, stomachs start to hurt really bad, headaches, kids will start crying, some kids get really angry. It can look very different depending on the kid. Depression, same thing. So, depression is another word that gets thrown out a lot. So people say, oh, you're just depressed. No, depression is very different than being sad, right? We all get sad. Everybody gets sad. Sad is an emotion that everybody gets. It's okay to be sad. Depression is different in that depression alters you to not want to enjoy life. Depression will keep you in your bed. Depression doesn't make you want to enjoy simple things. And so depression looks like, again, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to, someone that's depressed will stay in bed all day, not want to even take a shower, and kind of just be to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, such a difficult subject and such a difficult thing to witness and see too. What, for someone that does have depression and anxiety, could you provide an exercise that they could do for themselves if they find themselves in a difficult situation, to calm down or even help build a little bit of confidence or motivation?
Absolutely. So with anxiety, it's much different than with depression. So with anxiety, um, and you can do it with depression. So my favorite, favorite tool. So I call them coping tools. I don't call them coping skills. Tools. In life, we need lots of tools because just like when you build a house, you have to have lots of tools, and different tools do different things, and you want to have lots of tools. So one of my favorite tools to have is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This works for all ages. When I work with kids in private practice or in the school, they're like, "This one's very childish," and I'll be like, "Just use it." I work with a client now in high school, and when I first told her, she was like, "I'm not going to use that. It's too." Sounds like a kindergartner's tool, and she now uses it all the time. And so she's like, "That's my favorite tool." Again, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling whatever the emotion is, even when you're feeling happy, it works when you're happy even. Because when you're feeling happy, you want to capture the moment, right? It's a mindful tool. It's a mindfulness tool. It helps you, so when you're happy, it'll help you keep them. But when you're anxious, we want to trick our brain into calming down. So what it is 5 things you can see quickly. So you just look quickly around you, 5 things you can see. Just name them off. And then it's 4 things you can hear. So you're paying attention to 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can, 3 things you can, eyes, ears. Okay, let me think. Eyes, ears. Hold on, now that I'm saying it.
No, you're good.
Come out so well when I'm saying it out with kids. I can do it real quick. Eyes, ears. 3 things you can feel. 2 things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste. So if you have a kid that's if you're anxious, 5 things. You might just look around. Cat, you're just saying, Kleenex box, pen, pencil, paper, whatever it is. And then 4 things I can hear. And then you just, whatever you can hear. And then you're just going through it. Another one is just deep breathing, right? Deep breathing. Even when you're sad, it's just that.
Clearing the mind.
Depression is much different. It's much different. With depression, you can do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but you're looking for good things, right? Good things to switch your brain into something positive. The thing with depression is that with depression, you want to make sure you're treading lightly. You don't want to put somebody in a situation where it can get worse. So with depression, when I tell kids is that journaling is always a great tool to use when you're really sad. If you want to journal, journaling can help get thoughts. Something magic happens. I wish I don't know what it is. I don't care how many degrees. I don't know what the magic tool is. But when you write something down, it's like, oh.
Yes, I agree.
It happens, and it's like, oh, I feel so much better. That felt great, right? There's a zillion books about people that write when they're depressed because they feel better when they're done.
Yes.
They're like, I don't know what happened, but that felt great. I tell kids when they're depressed all the time, write. And then they're like, I don't know what happened, but that felt great. Writing, right? They feel great. I don't know what happens, but it feels great. Depression works. The best thing I tell people when they're really, really depressed, especially older the kids they are in the high school and older kids, 20 years old, is to call a crisis line. Right? That's what they're there for, is to call the crisis line. A crisis line, every state has them to call a crisis line. They're there. They're trained individuals. They're trained therapists to talk to people, and they will help them.
Beautiful. I've always used the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I journal, but just hearing that from a professional, that just goes to show that it really is a tool that can work for several people. And just hearing, that brings me so much happiness, hearing that from someone else, that that's the right direction to go, or one of the right directions that you can go.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, I'm going to move on to my next and final subject. So, as some of you may know, I am the USA National Miss Adams County teen, and I will be competing for the Colorado State title at the end of February. So, with that, USA National Miss actually has a national platform called Crown Cares. And what Crown Cares is a platform that is geared towards bullying prevention and just spreading kindness to anyone that you could possibly spread it to. So I want to take a second and ask you, what is one thing that we can do to work towards preventing bullying?
Oh,
There's so many.
Oh my gosh. First of all, random acts of kindness is the best thing ever. We promote it all the time in our school. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
On your title. That is amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Random acts of kindness can be anything, right? I know we live in a COVID world. What a great time to really show acts of kindness.
Yes, exactly.
It could easily be when you see somebody at the store and they're taking their cart back to the cart stall. Mm-hmm. Take it back for them. Our faces are covered, so we can't smile. When we get back to a regular smiling, that's the best form of kindness, is to smile at somebody. I can't wait to smile at people again. I find myself in the store looking at people and smiling and realizing they can't see me smile.
Yes.
I'm just seeing smiles. But just even, kindness things and, just helping people out without realizing it. Yeah. You see somebody bend over to grab something, pick it up for them in the school. Yeah. I tell kids all the time, like, we have kindness weeks each month at the school. Be kind. Everybody's going through their own things. Yeah. You don't know what they're going through. We each have our own battles. So instead of picking on somebody, realize you don't know what their life is. And so instead of making fun of the kid that might have clothes that don't fit, maybe realize, like, you don't know what their home life looks like. So reach out to them, and if they don't have something to eat, offer something for them. Yeah. It could be simple, something simple. Right now it's January, it's snowing and it snows. Offer to shovel somebody's walk without pay. I mean, simple.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was quite possibly the best answer you could have given. I love it. I love it. Well, for our final question, please tell me, while we're on the topic of acts of kindness, tell me about a time that you have witnessed, completed, or even had a random act of kindness done to you. What was something that was incredibly memorable?
Oh my goodness. Well, goodness, I work with kids. I have random acts of kindness all day long. My kids draw pictures all the time, and I teach weekly lessons to my kids. Right now, I'm teaching Jedi Academy to my kids right now. Weekly lessons on self-regulation to my kids. And my kids will draw me pictures each week just to thank me. And they're just little acts of kindness like that. Or they'll color me a picture. Coloring, another great coping tool is coloring.
I would agree with that one.
Mandalas are awesome. But they'll just draw me pictures just out of acts of kindness. That's the reason why we stay in school, because that's what those acts of kindness, those are the reason why I love kids. Those things, they make my day.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely make my day. I know my siblings like to give me some of their own little notes, and they always make me smile.
Yes.
I love kids too. I love just their imaginations.
Yes, I have, my office is full of gifts, and I had a little girl that I worked with We are the North Eagles, and she brought me a eagle shelf just
Oh my gosh.
because, yep, because I teach lessons on how to be soaring eagles.
Ah.
And she brought me an eagle shelf in because she said it made her think of me. And so,
Aw, that's amazing. Well, I mean, I'll have to come to your next Jedi class because that sounds amazing.
I'll have to send you a video because it is amazing.
Okay, I will definitely look forward to that.
I'll send it to you.
That's awesome. Well,
No
Kellie,
judging my videos though.
I promise, no judgment. You should see some of the videos that I like to dance when I'm upset. That's one of my coping is I just have little dance parties, and those videos are no one will see those. Awesome. Well, Kellie, thank you so much for meeting with me, and
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I had such an amazing time, and I'm so excited for others to hear your story and hear the different techniques that they can use because I guarantee that this is not something that a lot of people will be able to hear, especially on other platforms. So I believe that is all I have for you today. But
thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Awesome. Well, guys, this will be posted on my socials and it will soon be posted on a website called Peaks and Valleys. Other than that, we are good to go. Awesome. Thank you.